The trailer for episode 7 really managed to surprise us, and honestly, this is the best Digital Circus episode trailer so far. Today, I want to take a closer look at one particular moment from the trailer and figure out what it actually is. Back in episode 6, we saw Kane totally losing control over himself, while some shots from episode 7 don't just confirm it. They straight up scream that something truly scary is happening to Kane, and right now he basically can't control himself at all. In the first half of the trailer, we see Pomni and Ragatha in this kind of cosmic-looking room, but then we get the full version of that location, and to put it mildly, I was shocked by what I saw. This is probably the creepiest and weirdest place in the Digital Circus, and the real question is what exactly this place is. There are a couple theories about what this place might actually be, and probably the most believable one is that this whole location is a product of Kane's distorted mind. Overall, this spot doesn't hold any real value, and the only thing that's going to matter to us, and to the residents of the Digital Circus, is this sphere right here. I've got a feeling that inside this sphere is where that so-called Digital Circus temple is, the one Ragatha ended up in. Ever since episode 6 dropped, we realized Kane's seriously planning to kind of bring the Digital Circus to an end. It's pretty likely that this is the spot where one of the characters, most likely Pomni and Ragatha since we saw both of them there, will learn some kind of truth about the Digital Circus that could end up being one of the keys to escaping it. However, it's really important to understand this is only the beginning of that whole complicated path. I can say with 100% confidence that episode 7 is going to be the best and the craziest one so far. Even though the trailer showed us a whole lot, I already get that episode 7 is going to be radically different from every other episode in basically everything, starting from how the characters interact all the way to the main structure of the episode. Before we move on, I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you for your get well wishes. I'm feeling way better now than I did a few days ago, but still not as good as I'd like. Hopefully in a day or two, I'll be completely back on my feet so I can hit you with even crazier videos and theories. And with that said, we keep going. Like I already said, episode 7 won't be anything like the previous episodes. And even though there's going to be the usual adventure, it's not going to play any real role in the new episode. It's basically just a soft intro before the main events start. The main goal of episode 7 is to finally start revealing the big mysteries of the Digital Circus, and of course set up the final model of how the characters interact with each other, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. In one of the final scenes of episode 6, we saw that...
Hey, I have something
I feel like
You can speak
you
first.
Go. Let's talk after the show.
Yeah, sounds good.
Looks like now both Pomni and Ragatha might finally get a real friend. We've seen hints of this in pretty much every episode, but that super dramatic scene with Pomni and Jax pushed our jester to realize that nobody's going to treat her with the same care and kindness as Ragatha. Episode 7's definitely going to keep that going, and Pomni's main arc next time will be all about building up that friendship with Ragatha. It might seem like Pomni could have gotten totally disappointed in Jax after all that, but some scenes from the Favorite Character Awards hint at something else. And we'll definitely get into that later, because how it plays out is going to shape the future of the Digital Circus in a big way. As we can see, Pomni ain't going to be that shy, scared girl from the early episodes anymore. She's learned how to handle all the weird stuff in the Digital Circus, and now her main goal is going to be building up that friendship with Ragatha. Since we've already brought up the doll, she's gone through a ton of changes lately. Back in episode 5, it looked like she was left all alone, and because of that, a lot of people started predicting she'd get abstracted soon, but like I said way back in June, that's straight up nonsense. Episode 6 turned out pretty rough for Ragatha though. We can really see how much Ragatha's torn up by everything going down around her, and she knows damn well that her fake happy girl act is only hurting her. After what went down in the last 2 episodes, I'm more than sure Ragatha's finally gonna drop that forever smiling mask, and for the first time we'll see an episode where she's herself from start to finish. And y'all still remember what Ragatha told Jax right before her so-called death.
You know, getting close with Pomni. To corrupt her.
Maybe what she said was about what had happened later in the EP, or maybe it's hinting at something way darker. Y'all remember how in one of my vids I dropped that theory that Jax caused Ribbit's abstraction. It's pretty likely that scene from episode 5 wasn't just a show of jealousy, but fear for Pomni's life, cause Ragatha knows exactly what's coming next. And we all remember how Jax kept dodging any talk about his best friend.
So, you wanna talk about that?
I'm in a maid outfit, what do you think?
What was that about?
It's nothing. Who cares?
I'm sure that based on Pomni and Ragatha getting closer, the doll's gonna tell our jester the whole truth about what went down back then, and why it's such a painful topic for Jax. Either way, we're seeing positive changes in both of these characters, and that's making episode 7 look more and more intriguing. And now in the context of these two characters, we can go back to that final scene where Pomni's still worried about Jax and doesn't get why he acted that way. Considering that and the fact that Ragatha mentioned Jax in that conversation with Kinger, I'm more than sure that in episode 7, we're going to see these two try to reach out to Jax, figure out what's going on with him, and try to solve his main problem, which was clearly shown to us in episode 7. We can't be sure that Jax was super close with Kaufmo, but they were definitely friends. While we know Ribbit was Jax's best friend, and losing him was a key moment for Jax, cause that's when he started acting like a total jerk. But the problem for the residents of the digital circus is that they only see one side of the situation, and because of that, they can't really draw the right conclusions. So at the start of episode 7, Jax is gonna look like a jerk who just wants to have fun and doesn't care about anyone else's wishes or problems. But we know that losing his best friend, constantly pretending, and trying to pass himself off as someone else is what led to this.
God, you look stupid.
This is how Jax is going to enter episode 7, a guy completely lost and actually on the edge of abstraction. Of course, that won't actually happen, but Jax's mental health could seriously take a hit if he keeps living at this pace. So far, we've only seen one of his panic attacks, but I've got a feeling that if Jax doesn't stop pretending and acting like everything's fine, he's in for a sad ending. Do you think Jax had a panic attack like that after this scene? Jax has got to learn to live in the reality of the digital circus, not invent some hidden meaning like he's always done. I feel like Jax totally gets this himself, and it's pretty likely that his entire story arc in episode 7 is going to be all about accepting the real reality. Like I said, Pomni and Ragatha are more than happy to help him, but the interesting part is whether he's going to accept their help or try to handle it all on his own. We'll save Kinger for dessert, because there's definitely a lot to say about that guy. But for now, let's talk about Zubul and Gangle, who keep getting closer and closer with every new episode.
If we can't find the Tommy gun, will this work?
Yeah. Do you think Jax is gonna be mad that I didn't team up with him?
I wouldn't worry about him right now. It's all just a game in the end.
It's Jax, though. He probably wants revenge, and he's gonna make it painful.
Hey, you deserve better than thinking about him when he's not even here. You're a human. You're not his toy.
These two are honestly the kind of characters that barely ever change. The only real shift we've seen is during therapy, where Zubul actually helped Gangle deal with her issues, and maybe now she'll finally be able to stay happy no matter which mask she's wearing. As for Zubul, things are pretty much steady, and you really shouldn't expect anything drastically new from her. But Kinger with his secret superpowers has raised a ton of questions among Digital Circus fans. There are really only two possibilities here. Either Kinger is actually one of the show's creators, which would explain why he can pull off stuff like that, and instantly flip his mood. If that's true, then his whole crazy act is just an illusion. Or Kinger stays exactly the same as before, but that butterfly ends up affecting the Digital Circus events in a way that makes everyone realize they can literally do anything they want in this digital space. Anyway, whatever happens around each of the characters is going to have a crazy impact on episode 7, and all we can do is guess what's coming next.